Welcome to Santorini. If you've heard of Santorini, the chances are an image of whitewashed towns, blue-top chapels and world-class sunsets springs to mind. This picture-perfect Greek island that lies in the southern Aegean Sea, about 200 kilometres southeast of Greece's mainland, now sees nearly 2 million tourists every year. Quite a number compared to the 15,000 people who live there. There's no denying its attraction. The island owes its good looks to a volcanic eruption in 1613 BC that formed dramatic cliff drops, multicoloured beaches, and a sea lagoon called the caldera. This iconic setting has made Santorini one of the most memorable and photogenic of all the Greek islands. However, Santorini isn't just any Greek island. It has its own subculture that sets it apart from the rest. Yes, it's still very Greek, but Santorini Greek. From signature food dishes made from the produce that only grows on the island, to the unique way grapes grow in their vineyards. And on the subject of vineyards and wine, there is so little rain on Santorini that wine is more plentiful than water. The island has seen quite a transformation in the past 60 years. It's hard to believe it had no electricity up until 1960. Especially when looking at the glamorous town of Aegean, which has now become a haven for sun seekers, indulging in the romance of luxury hot tub apartments and fancy restaurants. Although sunbathing all day, overlooking the caldera with a frappe might be tempting, Santorini is so beautiful, you've got to get out there and explore all the wonders this island has to offer. In this video, we're going to take you through food, language, money and transport. But let's start with our top things to do here on Santorini. FIRA is on the top of a cliff edge and is home to the old port right underneath it. The port is almost 600 steps down, or you can opt for the cable car which runs every 20 minutes. There is another option, which is to take a donkey ride up and down, but we sadly saw a lot of unhappy donkeys made to stay out in the sun with sores on their backs from carrying tourists. I can only ask you avoid riding the donkeys and instead do what we did. Walk down and take the cable car back up. A fun way to see the island is to rent an ATV. We found a ton of rental shops in Aegean. We were there off-season, so didn't need to pre-book. But if you're there in July or August, you might find you need to do this. Driving one of these along the coastline was so much fun. Just make sure you have a valid driving licence, wear the helmet provided, and wear protective clothing to stay safe. There's a fantastic walk that runs from Aegean to FIRA. It takes about 3 hours to complete and runs all along the coastline with views of the caldera and cliffs the whole way. The walk's incredible, but there is not much shade, so it's wise to start early, bring sun cream and drink plenty of water. We took a half-day boat trip with Sunset Aegean that took us around the caldera, visiting the white and red beach and hot springs. Santorini's hot springs are on the tiny uninhabited island of Palea Carmeni. The volcanic activity underground maintains the spring's temperature at 30 to 35 degrees C. The boat also provided us with snorkeling equipment so we could jump in and cool off in the water, and ended with a fantastic barbecue on deck. Here is where you'll find the iconic blue domes famous to Santorini. The town is carved into the rocks and is the best place on the island to view the sunset over the caldera. Aegean's Byzantine castle is a popular spot to watch the sunset from, but if you want to avoid the crowds, then we recommend making a dinner reservation at one of the restaurants to ensure you get those killer views. Whilst exploring Aegean, we met up with Nikos from Santorini Walking Tours, who gave us a tour of the town to teach us a little bit more about the history of the island. Nikos knew so much about Santorini and gave us a great insight to how the island has transformed over the years. Whilst we were chatting, I asked him to take me through some basic Greek language to help me get by. So, can we start with the basics?
Of course.
My Greek isn't the best. Hello.
Γεια σου or γεια σας, the plural.
Please.
Παρακαλώ.
Parakalo. Thank you.
Ευχαριστώ.
I think that's the most important one. I think it's always nice to say thank you in the
It
language.
absolutely is.
How do you ask for the bill?
Τον λογαριασμό.
Okay.
Or you can just do
Oh, Just the sign.
Just the
That's
sign.
a universal sign across the whole world.
That should be it.
Do you need to know Greek to come to Santorini?
You don't really need to know Greek to travel anywhere in Greece, if you ask me. Greeks are hospitable, we're exposed to tourism, so people will step in basically if they see you struggling to find something or to order something, so that should not be a worry of yours. And of course there's a lot of people that speak perfect English, if not everybody speaks at least a few words in English, good enough to get you a long way.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been really interesting and I'm looking forward to practicing my Greek.
Thank you, India.
Thank you.
It's been lovely.
Driving a car is the best way to get around Santorini, as there's so much to see either end of the island and not everywhere is accessible by bus. In fact, you can hire one through Holiday Extras. Check out the link below. Anyway, here's a few things to keep in mind before you set off. To hire a car, you need to be at least 21 and have a valid driving licence. In Santorini, you drive on the right. I use the rhyme "right is right" to remember. The speed limit in the towns and built-up areas is 50 kilometres an hour. Car parks and tourist spots like FIRA and Aegean can be busy during the summer months, so you might want to factor in a little more time to find a space. Driving around the island is spectacular and a great way to see the landscape. Just keep in mind that the roads can be narrow and windy, so if you want to really enjoy the views, stay safe by parking up and take it all in from there. The activities on the island are one thing, but in all honesty, if you come to Santorini for nothing more than the food, you'll still leave very happy. It has a unique Greek cuisine that is shaped by the produce that grows on the island. I fell in love with all the food we were eating, so wanted to learn how to cook it at home. Santorini experts offer a cooking class that does just that, so I jumped at the chance of joining. Maria taught me how to make tomato keftedes, or tomato fritters, that are a famous Greek delicacy that originate from Santorini. They consist of a thick batter of tomatoes, onions, mint and flour, dropped in hot olive oil, fried crisp, then eaten with Greek salad, tzatziki and fava. Delicious! Compared to other Greek islands, I found the food in restaurants to be quite a bit more expensive. But if you wander off the tourist routes a little, you'll find some cheaper gems, like Nikos Place Grill House in Aegean, where you can get a gyros for just €2.50. And on that note, let's talk money. The currency here is euros, and although tipping isn't a necessity, it's always nice to leave some spare change if you feel like you've had good service. But double check the bill first in the more touristy areas, as they might have already left a 10% service charge on the bill. Anyway, let's take a look back at our spending here in Santorini. This frappe costs €3.25. This Greek salad costs €15. Fuel costs €1.76 per litre. This ATV costs €40 to hire for 24 hours. Our hotel in Aegean cost £120 per night for a double room. Premium travel insurance with Holiday Extras costs £15 for 3 days. For up-to-date exchange rates, visit xe.com or download their app. And as our time in Santorini comes to a close, don't forget to subscribe for loads more awesome travel guides. Santorini has been on my bucket list for a long time, and you know what? It has totally lived up to my expectations. This island is beautiful, and the landscape is like nothing I've ever seen before. So now that our trip has come to an end, all is left to do is to sit back, relax, and enjoy this sunset. Yamas!